Alright guys, we're back. Today we're going to do the Mossberg 500. This is the, well, it's a just in case with an ATI over the top stock with the shell holders, pretty fancy. First thing we're going to do, make this gun clear, run the action. Look, touch, feel, make sure there's nothing in the tear, nothing in the tube. You can see physically she is clean. Alright, so that is out of the way. You're going to need tools, all the tools you're going to need for this guy. 1/4-inch Allen key. And I'm going to use this little punch here. You could use a nail or whatever you want. First thing we're going to do is take the stock off the back, now that we've made the gun safe. 1/4-inch Allen key just fits in here. If you have the original stock on the gun, I believe there's a notch, and you don't have to pull the whole stock off. But I recommend it. If you're going to clean it properly, take it apart. That's why we're taking it apart, is clean. There's your stock off. Really, really technical. Now I'm going to turn it around this way. Hopefully this all stays in view. This is the trigger housing spring. This is your elevator pin, and this is your cartridge interrupter pin. We are going to start. We're going to make sure the gun is on safe. And I'm going to use my little punch here to remove the trigger housing pin. And it's really tough. You just give it a push, and it'll push through. Sometimes they're tough. Sometimes you got to bang them a bit. This one, it's usually kept pretty clean, so it comes out pretty easy. So that pin, I don't know if you saw, just literally pushes straight through, pull out the back. Then we are going to take the trigger group and remove it. Very, very, very simple. So the trigger housing, trigger group, whatever. Don't want to bang on those pins at all. That'll all come in time. Next we're going to remove the barrel. That'll make things a little bit easier. So to remove the barrel, there's a nut on the end here of the Mossberg. Literally just spin that. Sometimes they're a little snug. You might have to give them a good tug. And it'll just come right out. Just wiggles out there. So there's your barrel out. Now we've got some room to work. Well, as we do that, there is our that is the cartridge interrupter, and this is the cartridge stop on the other side. So when you're facing, the cartridge stop is on this side, the cartridge interrupter is on the other side, and you can tell the interrupter, it's got this little pin right here that fills that hole there. So those bad boys are out. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to move the slide forward, and then inside here you can see the notch in the receiver. This is your bolt slide, and that fits exactly through there, so that'll just come right out. And then we are going to slide the slide right off the front of the gun. So we're going to pull this forward, and it comes right out. There's your slide and your pump. Only thing we've got left now is the bolt and the elevator. So the bolt here, I'm just going to take my finger in behind it and push it gently out the front. Ta-da! And there's your bolt assembly. That's pretty important there. You got to clean that pretty good. This guy here, you can tell the top is rounded for the receiver and the flat is always facing you. And the same thing with the bolt slide. It's got a little hook which hooks in here for reassembly. It's important. So those go to the side, and then we've got the elevator, and the elevator, just to remove that, if you want, you literally just take it, pinch it together. Alright guys, the gun is completely apart now. What we're going to do is reassemble it. Not obviously just going to reverse the order, but there's certain things we have to line up to make things hook, attach, back into order, the things and stuff. Elevator. In case you didn't see how I did it, you just pinch it and it fits in there. One of the things you should note is that if the gun is not unsafe, the safety actually sits in the way. I don't know if you can see it. It sits in the way of putting it back together. So you want to make sure the safety's off. On. Give it a pinch. Should just slide back in. And hitch 5. You'll know that's perfect. And we're going to take the bolt and we're going to slide it in. When you slide it in, it should line up very nicely. Very nicely. with the elevator. Once it's in, you should have no room between the bolt and the elevator. And we're going to take the pump and the slides, we're going to put those back on. Now it doesn't line up, you can see. You want to just give it a little push, and it will line up with the holes and slide right in. Once it slides in, it'll stop. You got to push it again, and it'll slide further in. Now once you've got it in, you can see how it moves inside. I don't know how well you guys can see. But what you want to do is line up that hole, this notch in the receiver with the arms, and about the middle of your bolt, because your bolt slide is going to fit right in over top. And then once it is, you can move it all with your finger. Next part, I leave this actually forward. We're going to put the cartridge stop in on the side closest to us, all the way forward. And you can tell the little hooks go in, and the cartridge interrupter has the dot that fits in on the other side there. Now once those are in place and they want to sit where you want them to, your trigger assembly should just pop right in. Ta-da. Once that's in, you're going to put your pin back in, ready to go. Make sure it's in there good, and run your slide just halfway back. We'll make it happy to take the barrel back in. No twisting, you just want to line it up. Never over tighten this, because then it's even harder to get out. And that should be the basic action of the gun. Take the gun off safe. Just good to go. Then obviously your stock, however you'd like to put that back on. This is a little harder to do with the camera here, because I like to stand it right up, but just lets you line it up better. Okay, you're gonna have to tough. You don't get to see this one. If you do things up too tight, they'll be too hard to undo. You always snug it up if it comes loose on the field. But so that is your Mossberg 500. That's it. Any questions, any comments? Tell me how I screwed it up. It's definitely not the same as doing an M&P 9mm. That's your gun. Thanks guys for watching. Stay tuned, more coming. Again, tell me what you want to see. I will do it, or I'll do my best to do it. Thanks guys. Like, subscribe, share, all that social media stuff.